Yeah, so there's sweat in my eyes, there's about to be tears. Yeah, so why am I so passionate about this? Obviously, Matt was my best friend. He was my greatest mentor. He was a superhero to me. Right? I got this tattoo on my back. It's a crown of thorns with Matt's dog tags attached to it, next to a cross. And I got that when Matt was alive. So it just goes to show who he was to me. And the last 3 months of Matt's life, I had the pleasure of spending a lot of time with him. We'd wake up, he'd wake me up at 6 in the morning, which was terrible. I do that now in memory of him, but at the time I was like, dude, why are you waking me up right now? We'd come to Lafayette, we'd run sprints, we'd come to this field, we'd suffer together, and that's how him and I built a lot of our relationship together. And we spent those 3 months, we spent a lot of time physically with each other, right, in the same presence, and I'm so thankful for that. But during that time, looking back at it, I saw this superhero, right, who I thought was unbreakable. I started to see him break due to the effects of a lifelong of brain injuries on the football field, on the battlefield, his transition out of the military, what he saw in the military. I saw, aggression. I saw a lack of self-esteem. We saw paranoia. So many things that, looking back at it, are symptoms of what we're raising awareness for. But most importantly, we never talked about those things together. Remember one time we were sitting in this truck. I think we were coming back from this track actually, and he looked at me and he said, at this time, remember specifically, I felt so much anxiety, so much tension between us because we knew that a conversation needed to be had, but neither one of us were willing to have it. And he looked at me and he said, Brandt, I'm sorry I'm not the older brother that they're used to, that you deserve. And it broke me, but most importantly, I was surprised, I was shocked. I had no idea why I said that, because this is still a man I looked up to the most in life. So fast forward a little bit, I go back to school to TCU in Fort Worth. Matt had just moved to Kansas City to the fire department. And we were excited, right? We thought, all right, he's transitioning, he's serving again, he's protecting others, he's going to be happy. And I remember we hadn't talked in a couple weeks, but we said we were going to talk on Valentine's Day of 2021. And I remember on Valentine's Day, I was looking at my phone, Matt's contact pulled up in my phone, and I was looking at it, and I had that feeling, right, of, I don't want that awkward silence. I don't want to know that I'm not strong enough to ask him what's going on, and see how he's really doing. And in the moment, it's not what I thought that emotion was, but looking back at it, it's definitely what it is. And I never called the phone, and I'm sure that Matt was looking at his phone too, at my contact, thinking the same thing. And then 5 days later, I got the worst call of my life from my mother, saying that Matt had taken his life, and I never had to have that conversation with him. So that's why this means so much to me. That's why we have to shatter the stigma. I don't blame myself. I don't blame my brother. I blame the stigma in society, and I hate the stigma in society. And that's what the 30-Day Challenge is about. It's about suffering with people in society, leaning on one another. And what I've learned that's happened in my life recently is anxiety, depression. A lot of it is just knowing that you have to do something hard, knowing that you have to have a hard conversation, knowing that you have to reach out for help, but it's you fighting that feeling to do it, right? That's that feeling that you have in your gut. That's that feeling that you're hiding. It's the emotions that you're suppressing. That's what leads to depression. It leads to an internal fight with yourself. So having the conversation isn't the hard part. That's when growth can happen. That's when you can start to live a better life, a more loving life. It's the thought of having that first conversation, which is why people take their life. I mean, I'm not a mental doctor, but that's my take. And I want to leave you guys with this quote, which I heard yesterday, which is definitely a sign from God that he wanted me to tell you guys this quote. And it's a definition of love, but it fits so great with vulnerability. And it says, vulnerability is giving someone the power to destroy you and trusting that they won't use it. So think about that definition. Think about how hard that workout was today the 38 challenge, 38 minutes of suffering. But I'll leave you with something harder today. And my challenge is for you to give someone the power to destroy you, but trust that they won't use it. Go out, have a conversation that you have not been wanting to have with someone you haven't been wanting to have it with, whether that's with yourself, whether that's with a counselor, with someone that you trust, with someone here, with me, whoever it is, just take that first step because it leads to growth. Thank you guys very much. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming out today. Yeah, and with that, we'll get out of the heat. We got some snacks over there on your way out. Feel free to take pictures on the step and repeat. Make sure that you tag the social for the 38 challenge because it starts here, right? The growth does. So thank y'all so much.